Peace is the path to the prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. On the news this evening, IPAC cautions RISEC against dealing with leaders of a non-political party. Security expert gives tips on how to avoid one-chance robberies. FRSC begins inspection of tankers' drivers to reduce road crashes in River State. Inmates escape as floods destroy prison wall, cut off Maiduguri from other parts of Borno State. On the foreign scene, UK, France, Germany sanction Iran for supplying ballistic missiles to Russia. I am Khaled Akurabat, but let's go for a quick commercial break. When we come back, the news. Welcome back. Now the news in detail. The leadership of the Inter-Party Advisory Council (IPAC) in River State has advised the River State Independent Electoral Commission (RISEC) to stop dealing with political party leaders that are not known by the body. The Secretary of IPAC of the state, Benjamin Ogbugbola, gave the advice in an interview with correspondent Soibi Oruwari. Mr. Ogbugbola advised RISEC to contact the national leadership of the party if they are in doubt about the genuine status of the chairman.
There are about 7 political parties that chairman Psychofan came to collect the party from those men, especially the 7 political parties, to know who is the authentic chairman. So those intruders, they claim they are the state chairman of these political parties. And we have told RISEC, we as IPAC, we know those that are legitimate chairmen. If you don't want to do it, why not consult the national office of these political parties and know who is the authentic chairman? So what we are waiting now is when RISEC will release names, start the screening, and we'll discover some irregularities in them. That is when we are going to speak to the world.
The IPAC secretary, who is also the chairman of Zenith Labour Party in the state, said political parties are awaiting the list of candidates that have been cleared by the commission.
We have been following the timetable very keenly. We are watching because they said the screening has ended today. So we'll watch from tomorrow and see if the cleaning will continue. Because of time factor, by now we are supposed to have started paying based on the RISEC timetable. So I believe that what they are doing, it will not exceed tomorrow for the screening so that the publication of the candidates will commence.
In other news, a security expert, Efe Wanoga, has advised commuters to avoid being carried away with their phones while inside commercial vehicles. Mr. Wanoga advice comes Mr. Wanaga's advice follows the recent arrest of one-chance robbers by the River State Police Command yesterday. Speaking with correspondent Ifechuku Moili, Mr. Wanaga also emphasized the importance of boarding vehicles at recognized parks.
Some of these one-chance movements you find, the drivers suddenly veer off the recognized route. And if you are in the car and you just start pressing your phone, you would not know that they've gone off route and are going probably to some very lonely route for which they can perpetrate robbery on your person, and you can scream, but nobody's going to hear you because the place is quite lonely. So when we're in vehicles, we should pay attention. Keep your phones out of sight. Once you sense that they are going off route, you insist. And if you continue to persist, you find a way to raise alarm. If you have to cause reasonable disturbance within the vehicle, you will force them to stop and drop you off, and that is key for us to do.
The security expert also advised against traveling at vulnerable hours and discussing business with strangers while in transit.
Also have to stay away from this getting involved in all such get-rich schemes, some proposals of somebody who wants to sell something. Whatever appears too good to be true is too good to be true. People who do one-chance robberies, they find a way to go through routes when they get the least resistance possible. If they are sure they will run into checkpoints or they run into traffic where you have other people, they will want to desist from doing that. So we should insist on not leaving the home too early or not leaving the home when it is late. Your chances of enforcing security or ensuring your safety reduces in the darkness of night and the very early hours of the morning.
It said the painting of commercial vehicles, installation of CCTV cameras at strategic places, among other measures, will help reduce the one-chance menace in Port Harcourt.
Also have to stay away from this getting involved in all such get-rich schemes, some proposals of somebody who wants to sell something. Whatever appears too good to be true is too good to be true. People who do one-chance robberies, they find a way to go through routes when they get the least resistance possible. If they are sure they will run into checkpoints or they run into traffic where you have other people, they will want to desist from doing that. So we should insist on not leaving the home too early or not leaving the home when it is late. Your chances of enforcing security or ensuring your safety reduces in the darkness of night and the very early hours of the morning.
Meanwhile, the Rivers State Commissioner for Transport, Collins Onwuwa, says the ministry has not authorized any task force or committee to sell tickets on its behalf. Mr. Onwuwa, in an interview with correspondent Emeka Oduka, expressed concerns over the activities of hoodlums posing as officials of the ministry to extort money from motorists. He said the matter has been reported to the Nigerian police for action and urged motorists not to pay any individual claiming to sell tickets for the ministry.
That accusation, I'm aware of it, that Ministry of Transport has been harassing people on the road, collecting money from them. I want to inform you here that I have never constituted any committee or any enforcement team to enforce whatever. They are all illegal. I have even reported to the Nigerian police. If you see such people, arrest them. The only group I know I met as a commissioner and is still working is wrong parking and towing of vehicles that break down on the road. So any vehicle that is towed to a River State Transport Company premises, that is done by the ministry.
As you may know, the chairman of the Water Producers Association in River State, Igberi Maxine, recently threatened that his members will shut down operations over continued harassment by individuals posing as officials of the Ministry of Transport to extort its members. Also, some commercial drivers operating from Iche to Mile 3 axis of Port Harcourt Metropolis complained that their vehicles are often impounded over their refusal to pay 1,000 naira to the illegal tax force after purchasing government-approved tickets. In another development, the sector commander of the Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC, in River State, Inyang Umo, says the Corps has begun inspecting tankers and their drivers at tank farms to reduce road crashes involving tankers. Mr. Umo told journalists that the objective is to improve road safety in the state.
We all know the work of functions and mandate to everybody. Number one, that is central to it is safety on our roads. Other functions, like the issue of tank farm. Before now, if you watch involving tankers in our country, for now, thing has reduced to various minimum because of the fact that go to tank farm now. For a tank farm or a tanker is loaded or leave that tank. The driver will be checked for competency. The vehicle will be checked that those vehicles are roadworthy. Carry that vehicle or diesel out of that place. And so that has helped to reduce scratches among the tankers to various minimum.
Recall that in April, the petrol tanker exploded, resulting into a fire along the Elimate junction of the East-West Road in Port Harcourt. Over 5 people were reported dead and several cars burnt. Also, in June, another tanker believed to be carrying liquefied natural gas crashed or crushed the vehicle and exploded while trying to navigate the Obirikwe roundabout. The victims were burnt beyond recognition. In other news, some residents in Uzwoba axis of Port Harcourt, where a lady was arrested for alleged kidnapping, are accusing her of other illegal activities. In an interview with our correspondent, some of the tenants alleged that the children never attended school and were not allowed to play with other children in the compound. They also accused the lady of always pounding at night.
She came to drop something like a very short broom at my doorstep. When I insisted the broom must leave my doorstep, all her children fought me. So since then, I don't used to talk to her. Those children that they brought out today from her house, they don't used to come outside. But when there is no water, she permits them to come outside to come and wee. Outside that, they don't play with other children. They don't go to school. They don't go to church.
This is our neighbor there for upstairs. It's 2 years now I don't come on this compound. Since when they don't come on this compound, I do observe. I say every midnight, I say they go to pound. I don't suspect since, but who I want to go meet, who I want to tell, and there's something is wrong. I say one day God will expose them.
I discovered that it may be a case of ritual, because when you are pound, it means that maybe you have some persons or some individual who you are supplying to.
It was gathered that the police traced a child from Uyo, Akwa Ibom State to a 2-bedroom duplex apartment and discovered many other children. Police are yet to speak in this. As at the time our correspondent visited the compound, our apartment was locked. Now, the Nigeria Union of Teachers, NUT in Rivers State, says it is concerned that students from different class levels have been combined due to what it described as shortage of teachers in public schools. State NUT Chairman Collins Echikpu, who made this known, stressed the need for government to hire around 15,000 teachers for primary, junior and secondary schools as they resume for the 2024-2025 academic session. Dr. Echikpu spoke to our correspondent in this.
For instance, let's take an example of a primary school made up of 6 classrooms, primary 1 to primary 6. You have 3 teachers in such a school. What happened to the remaining class? So they are joining the classes. They join primary 1, primary 2, primary 3 in one class, and then join primary 4, primary 5, primary 6 in one class. Who is learning that in their teaching? Which means proper teaching and learning is not in place. That is why I said classrooms are empty. In secondary school, that is where specialization takes place. If you are an English teacher, the subject you can teach is 2, but that is their major. You will teach English and literature. If somebody tells you to go and teach CRA, what are you going to do there? If you major the physics, you teach physics. If you major the mathematics, you teach mathematics.
Dr. Echikpu also called for the implementation of the 65-year teachers' retirement age and the provision of funds to run their schools. Time for another commercial, but still to come. Inmate escape as floods destroy prison wall, cut off Maiduguri from other parts of Borno State. Stay tuned. detail. The Rivers State Commissioner for Health, Adese Ore, says the renovation of the neuropsychiatric hospital in Rumigbo and the introduction of mental health services at the primary healthcare level are key steps by the state government to address mental health issues. Dr. Ore said this today as the world marks Suicide Prevention Day.
This commitment and dedication are the underlying principles behind the administration's investments in addressing mental health issues. From the ongoing projects to upgrade the state's neuropsychiatric hospital, the construction of a state drug rehabilitation center, and the recent introduction of mental health care services at the primary level of healthcare delivery, establishing mental health support hotlines, and training health professionals in suicide prevention, and collaborating with community organizations to promote mental health awareness.
Dr. Ore called for a reduction in the stigma around mental health.
As a people, we must collectively work together to prevent suicide by promoting emotional well-being in our families, communities, and workplaces, supporting vulnerable populations, and encouraging open conversations about mental health. But we can and must do more. I therefore urge everyone to listen without judgment, offer support and resources, encourage help-seeking behavior, and together we can create a society that not only values mental health, but promotes hope and prevents suicide. Let us unite to make a difference.
The theme is World Suicide Prevention, or the theme for the World Suicide Prevention Day is changing the narrative in suicide with the call to action starts the conversation. Some inmates have escaped from a prison in Maiduguri, Borno State after flood destroyed parts of the prison wall. Reports say flood also cut off Maiduguri from other parts of the state. The Shehus Palace and parts of the University of Maiduguri and its teaching hospital, low-cost 500 housing estate, popular Monday market, schools and the government house were also submerged, leaving millions of people displaced with property worth billions of naira destroyed. Channels Television reports the residents are scared as dangerous animals have taken over the affected areas. Some of those evacuated were taken to the airport and other places for safety. In the meantime, President Bola Tinubu has called for the immediate evacuation of residents in communities overtaken by floods. We'll go for another commercial break and we'll come back to the foreign scene. Germany have announced fresh sanctions on Iran for supplying Russia with ballistic missiles for use in Ukraine, including restrictions on Iran's air's ability to fly to the UK and Europe. Also among the new measures which have been announced is U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken visits London, travel bans on a number of Iranian military officials. Mr. Blinken said Russians had been trained by Iranian forces to use short-range missiles and they could be deployed against Ukrainians within weeks.
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
Now a recap of the news. On the news this evening, you heard IPAC in Rivers State has cautioned RISEC against dealing with leaders of unknown political parties. Security expert Ife Wanogo has given tips on how to avoid one-chance robberies in Rivers State. The FRSC has begun the inspection of tankers and drivers to reduce road crashes in Rivers State. Some inmates have escaped from prison in Maiduguri after floods destroyed the prison wall and cut off Maiduguri from other parts of Borno State. On the foreign scene, UK, France and Germany have sanctioned Iran for supplying ballistic missiles to Russia. The news was edited by Ekachi Onwosu. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808-721-7215. I am Kaladakuru Batabo. Conversations continue after the commercial. To stay tuned.